What's happening, good people? How's everybody? Hoping everybody's doing all right. Hoping you're having a good day and all of that good stuff. Because it is nice outside. Oh, man, I'm loving this cool weather. I'm loving it. But is it going to last? Because everybody's talking about now that we're going to get up to 80 degrees in another lifetime. I'm like, oh, Lord.
It's gonna last, but wait till Sunday.
What happened Sunday?
They talking about that's when the real cold front is coming through.
Oh, yeah. They saying it's going to be real cold?
Yeah, it's gonna be cold.
Good.
They talking about 30s and 40s at night.
Yes.
Yeah, my kind of weather.
That's what I'm loving. Now I'm hoping that they're not just saying that and getting it wrong again.
This cold front they got that's coming down, and it's real.
But they've been getting it wrong, boy. They've been getting it wrong. When I tell you they're getting it wrong, they've been getting it wrong. Now, this one they got right. But as far as the rain is concerned and all of this other stuff coming, I'm like,
Making me feel like I'm back in L.A.
And where?
Making me feel like I'm back in L.A.
L.A.?
Yeah, buddy.
L.A. was like, no.
Yeah, L.A. weather's like this.
Yeah, L.A.
70s, no humidity.
L.A. had like real light. It still does, but
And then at night,
I guess more so than from anything else. I'm thinking now that they gotten to the point where they also have the heat.
oh, they get heat to get that.
Yeah.
Get that what you call it? Santa Ana wind.
Them Santa Ana winds come through there. You know it's gonna be some fire
Ain't
season.
no joke.
You know that's fire season when
I
them
love
Santa
it.
Ana winds start coming through.
70s during the daytime, 50s at night. And I lived up in the hills, so up in the hills it was colder.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I used to love it. Sleep with the windows open.
Same thing in Carolina. You know at this time of the year, the leaves on all the
Oh
trees.
man, you guys get what they call the foliage. Man, that's beautiful.
Right now is that time. So you could be driving. Like if I said, hey, see you later, I'm gonna drive home. Driving up and down them big hills, and when you're going down and you're looking at all the leaves on the trees,
Red and
it's
oranges.
beautiful. It's really beautiful.
My mom used to go out to my aunt's house in Maryland every year just to see it.
Oh, you got folks in Maryland?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got that's the funny thing. I'm here in New Orleans, but all my dad's folks are out on the East Coast, New York and Philly and whatnot.
Mine too.
And then my mom's, everybody's in Cali.
My folks all up and down the East Coast. I'm like, and all of them ask me the same question. Why are you down in the South? All your family is on the East Coast.
If my mom hadn't passed when she did, I wouldn't be here. We were preparing to move to Boyd's, Maryland.
Well, and then come to find out, my grandmother is from down this way. I still didn't do the research. I think I had said this one time before. I don't know if it was you or if it was Jazz at the time that was running the board. But my grandmother is from here.
I think you did discuss that with me.
And I don't know exactly what town it was. I don't think it was Orleans Parish. But I'm going to figure it out.
Well, you know how they say, all the light-skinned come from New Orleans.
Well, actually, my grandmother is not light-skinned. She's dark-skinned.
My grandmother wasn't either. My great-grandmother wasn't either.
So, yeah, I didn't have that complexity.
Somebody must have leaned the wrong way with me.
Well, look, coming from down here, I understand why they say you don't know what you are because you got a little bit of all of it in you.
I'm a mutt.
So, you're what?
A mutt.
You're a mutt. Mm-hmm.
With the TT.
Take your time. What's the rush? No, but they say coming from New Orleans, everybody's mixed with a whole lot of different stuff.
Yeah, and then they got that suspicion about if you get with a girl from New Orleans, don't eat nothing red.
No.
Like, really?
I know. And bury your drawers in the backyard with a chicken bone. You be hooked for life. Like, why he stay with her? You wouldn't understand. Be done buried your drawers in the backyard with a chicken bone.
Write your name with a piece of paper and put it under the sole in your shoe.
take this. This little gumbo. No, that's little red sauce. There ain't no gumbo.
I don't know no red gumbo.
No, ma'am. No, thank you. But, you know, you hear all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
had that ever happened to you?
No.
Me neither.
But somebody from the East Coast, boy, they flip out when they hear stuff like that.
They did what?
They flip out when they hear stuff like that. People from New York believe it.
Oh. That's because that fear of the unknown. That's all. Fear of the unknown. They don't know what they're talking about.
I'm going to put that gree on you. They flip out.
Now, I've heard people from here say that. We're going to put that gree on you.
Yep. My mom used to come up and do like this.
So here's my question.
Do that.
What is gree?
I have no idea. I'm going to put that gree on. I'm the hex, the wop, the whatever it is. I don't know. I guess that's what it is.
Let me look it up real quick. What is gree? Let's ask AI.
It should be GRIS.
What is it? GRIS?
GRIS.
What is it?
It's what happened to us yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the gree.
It was something from South Africa that was used for protection from evil. What they call it, a talisman or amulet, originating in West Africa. That is used for the protection from evil or to bring good luck, consisting of small bag containing items like scripture, small objects, and even what they've called that voodoo dust. Put that gree on you. Spit it on you, boy. Let me stop playing because somebody walk up to me and do me like.
Boy, ain't gonna be nothing but some talcum powder.
Okay.
Johnson & Johnson's baby powder.
Well, you know what? If somebody look at it and they can say some type of blessing or something on it.
Like I said, somebody put the gree on us for the last week or so.
Yeah, somebody been putting the gree on this radio station. Don't walk by the tower and went, don't know what that is. Have no clue. But anyway, lot of stuff going on in the city.
What's happening?
Yesterday, I'm glad that he couldn't come yesterday, but I didn't call him back. My guest yesterday was supposed to be Clancy Dubose. I talked to him. Huh?
I have the recording.
No. He was going to. That's what I wanted him to comment on that recording, and what he said made a whole lot of sense. But I thought it was interesting how he put it in perspective and did the comparison. Now I don't know if you paid attention. I don't know if you listened to it.
I didn't hear it.
But he did a comparison that's going to shock everybody, and that's what I want to play. But you got it though, right? All right. Let's do the break and let's come back with Clancy Dubose's comments, and I'm going to get everybody to consider what he says here, and then we'll comment on it. All right, y'all. More coming up, so get your telephone in your hand at 504-582-9422. There's more coming up next.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule, no excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com. Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
WL Louisiana political analyst Clancy Dubose. And before we talk about the fiscal administrator, Clancy, you said something just now that we heard from Jeff Landry, where there is a misconception that this loan would mean money out of the state, money from the state. Can you explain exactly what's happening here?
A couple of things that we need to make sure people understand what's going on here. First of all, the city's not getting a bond from the state. Okay, they're not asking the state for a bond. The city's asking for perfunctory state permission to sell bonds, which is the way government borrows money.
Right.
When government borrows money, they sell a bond, which is the same as a person going to a bank or a mortgage company and signing a mortgage.
Right.
You bond yourself, you commit yourself to pay back this money. So not one penny of state money would go into this city plan. Okay, nothing from the state, only perfunctory permission to sell the bonds paid back by city revenues, not state monies. The state would not have its full faith and credit on the line behind this.
Right.
It would purely come from the city. And that's why I think this is all a political move.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this.
Pure politics, in my opinion. Let me tell you why. The governor also said New Orleans needs to be treated like everybody else. Well, Jefferson Parish is having enormous fiscal problems.
Right.
Not a peep out of Jeff Landry about a fiscal administrator for Jefferson Parish. Why not?
Well,
what's the difference? It's a bigger parish.
Yeah.
It's got big problems fiscally.
Right.
And yet nothing.
Liz Murrill being adamant, we heard the council member say that she's adamant about this fiscal administrator, kind of that is her bottom line here. How much of this is political power struggle or a legitimate fiscal intervention? And if that fiscal intervention happens, what power would they have over the city of New Orleans?
Well, we could look at it two ways. Let's look at it politically, first of all. Liz Murrill is the most powerful woman in state government. And she probably deny it, but she clearly wants to be governor. Everybody in politics in Louisiana, everybody who knows anything about politics in Louisiana knows that Liz Murrill wants to be governor one day. This is the launch of her campaign. Against who? The most powerful woman in the city of New Orleans, who's also popular, a Democrat, attractive, articulate, a potential opponent. Although I can tell you, I don't think Helena Moreno has any aspirations to be governor. But Liz Murrow may not see it that way. It may just be that she wants to mine some gold out of this.
Right.
I think it's mostly political, but there is a legitimate fiscal crisis in the city of New Orleans, but the city should solve it. And we've been in this position before, by the way, where an outgoing mayor created or left a big hole in the budget for the mayor's successor. Dutch Montreal put Sidney Barthélemy in a giant hole, and what did Barthélemy do? They furloughed workers. They closed City Hall down for 1 day a week for several months, and they got through it. They tightened the belt, and people were inconvenienced, okay? It's going to be an inconvenience, folks, but the city can get through this. If the state doesn't want to let the city borrow the money and pay it back with city dollars, not 1 penny of state dollars, then that's on the state. Now, to the administrator, and this is really important, that administrator would have what's called plenary powers. Not plenty of powers, but plenary means everything. There would be no city charter. That person could come in and abolish departments, cancel contracts, grant new contracts, hire people, fire people, change everything. And guess what? If Liz Murrow and the state treasurer, John Fleming, who was running for the U.S. Senate, and the state legislative fiscal auditor, the legislative auditor, want to come in and put this person in there, then guess what? They will own every pothole, every murder, every burglary, every fire, every flood, everything that goes wrong in the city. Because when you have that much power, you are responsible for everything.
All right, Clancy, we're going to end it here. Hopefully
it's a dangerous game they're playing.
We are playing a dangerous game, and balancing the city autonomy as well as trying to protect it and how transparency is it's going to be an interesting situation. Clancy, thanks so much.
All right, there you go. There you go. There you have it. Were you surprised on the directness of this? And as a matter of fact, are you listening? I'm listening for a couple of things. First of all, I can appreciate the real information that's coming out about this if we borrow this money. Because that's not what's being told. Everybody's thinking that we're going to the state to get the money and that's it. And what's basically being said is we're just asking for permission to get a bond. But it has nothing to do with money coming from the state. What I'm listening to is the explanation of playing politics. Did y'all get the same thing? 504-582-9422 is the number. Make sure you call me and tell me, what did you get from this? If you didn't hear it, we're more than likely going to play it again so that you can have it. And I actually called Clancy yesterday, and because we had those technical difficulties yesterday, we couldn't get everything taken care of in a timely manner. So did you get it? 504-582-9422. Galloway.
What's going on, Brother Gerod?
How you doing, Doctor?
Oh man, I ain't got eye water to cry with today.
And boy, at least
man,
I brought you some Kleenex.
Man, I ain't got no water in my eyes left, man. You know them folks over in Mississippi that killed a monkey.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's rough. I had to swallow that one. I told that monkey to run and don't hide an Easter egg in
Service
Mississippi.
details. He should have got some Secret Service details. Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm telling you something over there in Mississippi. But, man, you can't hide an Easter egg over there, man.
Did
man,
you see
why you trying? And then the woman gonna get on TV act like she did a good job.
You saw the
but
lady
anyway,
that shot him too, huh?
Yeah, go video record it. I said, girl, you just don't know what you done did.
Yep.
I said, when the Planet of the Apes start, they coming to your house first.
Yeah, she gonna be the first one hung up. Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, let's talk about that message you just played.
Yep.
First of all, the state of Louisiana ranks what in the economy? Exactly. They ain't got no damn money to give nobody.
Right.
They couldn't rob Peter to pay Paul right about now.
Mm-hmm.
They know that. But what made me put down my old English 840 ounce of cold beer today was that message. That man said Helena was X, Y, and Z. Let me tell you something, sir. Helena's not smart. Helena's not attractive. And I wouldn't trust her driving a go-kart. That woman built like olive oil. Y'all need to quit propping this woman up like she did not have her hand in that budget. Mm-hmm. That's the problem that folks don't want to understand. That woman's hands is not clean. I wouldn't care if she ran for the governor of the old Six Flags in New Orleans East. And she's not popular amongst black voters. Look at the numbers. Y'all are propping this woman up and wiping your hands with what she did while she was the city council president that nobody wants to talk about. So if you're going to lay it all out, sir, put all the information out. Yes, we are in some serious trouble, just like any other parish in New Orleans. The only difference is New Orleans has what the state wants to control, that big tourist area down there in that French Quarter. That's what they want. And they're not going to stop till they get it. What he should have said is Helena going to go to Baton Rouge and stand up and fight to keep New Orleans. Because with her little fake pretty self, man, I'm telling you, I'd rather kiss a skeleton coming out of the St. James Infirmary before I look at that woman in the face.
Yes,
man, Gerard, tell them folks don't play with us, man.
So,
come on, man.
Part of that, I was thinking that too. That and I wanted to add this to the conversation was I was a little disturbed that it seems that, and I'm being a little messy here too. So, but that ain't nothing new for me. That our businesses out there in the wild blue yonder, and what Clancy is saying is that, well, Jefferson Parish got the same problems, and you don't hear nothing about
not a peep,
nothing.
Brother Gerard, go to Cato Parish, go to any of these other parishes. Them folks are way worse than Orleans Parish would ever be. You will never hear about it. This is a stronghold of majority black people. They know that 99% of the tourists that come to Louisiana go to where? New Orleans. And you ain't never heard nobody say, I'm going to vacation in Lafayette or Lake Charles, have you?
Nope.
Man, you barely get people to go to the Bro Bridge Crawfish Festival.
Yep.
I know that because I've been down there. Some of the best crawfish in the world. You get folks around them Lafourche and them other river parishes coming up there. But my issue is, what was his name? Joe Geruso. One of them city council members went up to the state to talk about this issue. Nobody's really talking about that. What did he go up there and tell them folks? Or what was said in that meeting that they had? Nobody wants to talk about the little backdoor deals that they're doing, since they think olive oil is going to be somebody that's going to sit there and change this around. You mean to tell me we really promoted somebody that was the city council president that was mediocre at best, who had a budget deficit along with the Cantrell administration, was $160 million in the hole? You going to promote her to lead us? And when she won't come out and say what she did wrong with the budget? This is the problem that we have. We got to be honest with each other. If we can't be honest and tell each other what's wrong with ourselves, how can we promote somebody like that?
But I don't
That's
think
why
that,
I would
I
not
just
vote
don't
for
think
that.
that there is any honesty in this. And the reason why is because every day, and I mean, I can probably sit down and name several entities and people that have a lot to do with this promoting of the deficit for Orleans Parish. But I'm looking at a report right now that says that Jefferson Parish lost its rating, its credit rating, and Moody's and S&P Global rating. Not just its Moody's rating, but its S&P and Global rating, because of its missed audit deadlines, because they've been trying to audit the place, and we haven't turned in, well, not we, but Cynthia Lee Shane has never turned in the audits that was supposed to be done, the information that was supposed to be done, so it could be audited. And they're looking at a $371 million overflow. And I'm looking at
$371 million.
Yep.
That's what you just said, right? Now, just imagine if that was Orleans Parish. Landry would be sitting in city council's chambers right now.
May 2023. Let me make sure I got this right. Jefferson Parish approved cuts to bus service in May 2023 to address a $28 million deficit. Now that's 2023. So the amount of deficit now has gone up to $28 million. And I'm like, okay, so from 23 to 25, we've got another, what, $5 million in the deficit?
So they growing millions in deficit every year.
Every year, they
and
go
it's
5
gonna get
million.
to, and it's gonna get this. Listen, all of that. Listen, if New Orleans goes, so does the rest of the state of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
They know this. Without Orleans Parish, the other 63 parishes couldn't survive.
Nope.
Jeff Landry, I told you that David Duke wannabe is just going about it the wrong way, man. I said this before, Gerard. Until these folks sit down, it can be full of the citizens or not, until they open up every single book and point to where it went wrong. Not point fingers at each other. We over budgeted on this and we never compensated for this. Whether it's overtime or if it's public transportation or if it's fixing the road, we never gonna figure this stuff out. I definitely understand about them. I told y'all where she gonna get the bond money from. That's coming from you are. Now I ain't gonna say it again because I don't want to get you in trouble. But I'm gonna tell you, the Saints gonna be marching in. That's where she gonna get that money from. That's already in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints get almost $600 million a year for being sorry. Think about that type of money that they can give to the city of New Orleans, bond, loan, or whatever you want to call it. The money is there for the New Orleans the city council to budget themselves out of, but they don't want to do it until the black woman get out of office. When the black woman get out of office, watch how this money start flowing in. Watch how this stuff start going. Because you know why? They scared of olive oil for whatever reason. Well, they ain't scared of for whatever reason because Troy and Cedric back her. That's the thing. And that look, Borders, that little bougie alive black folk, bruh, we ain't stupid. We've been knowing y'all been backing these folks and all this other stuff. But it's all gonna come to a head when black people get off their behind. The numbers came out last night. Jay Walker put it out last night. Do you know not even 40% of black people went out and voted in this election?
Yeah, 30, somewhere close to like 30. I think it's like 38%.
Until we get off our behind, there's no way Olive Oil should be in office right now. No way. But we sit back and we got not all of us, some of us got our hand out waiting for something. We got a whole bunch of go-getters in New Orleans. New Orleans is the greatest city in the world when it comes to hustling. Everybody got a hustle in New Orleans. But if you ain't hustling to that poll to go vote, you're going to sit there and be working on the poll in She or Spade somewhere. You better wake up, folks. This is real. I do not think Helena Moreno will stand up to Jeff Landry or Liz Morel. They will cut a deal. No matter that Democrat, Republican, that stuff is going about the way. Because you got Democrats and Republicans work together to put her in office. Why won't folks talk about that? Them same folks voted for Donald Trump, voted for Helena Moreno. Let that sink in. Mm-hmm. And they're going to do it again. And when Section 2 goes away, Troy, see you later. You're going to be sitting over here with me, looking to find some crawfish in one of them holes. Now, Gerard, you have a good day. Ain't going to hold you up, my brother. my 40 getting cold.
Yes,
take it
indeed.
easy, my brother.
Yes, indeed. All right, talk to you later, Galloway. All right, Kevin.
Hey, once again, man, I always thank you for what you do. Look, and my story just does not change because we don't change. The bottom line is this. Helena Moreno will never, ever be the governor of Louisiana. First of all, she's a woman. Second of all, she's an ethnic woman. And she's an ethnic woman that's saddled with being attached to a city in a racist, white supremacist state to black people because she's associated with being elected by New Orleans. And essentially she was. If you say 40% of them didn't vote, that's a vote. Okay? And far as Clancy Duvos is concerned, he said if they do take over Jeff Landry and the clan and his clan take over New Orleans, they're gonna be responsible for every pothole and every negative thing that they've been promoting about New Orleans, the negatives about New Orleans. Trust me, this is a game. This is a game we've seen for hundreds of years. Okay, and they all support each other. All these people from this clan. We don't realize, and it's scary, because it took Clancy Duvos to talk about something we claim we got this black excellence in this city with all the black universities and all that. But it took Clancy Dubose to explain what bonds are to the community and how that works. That's frightening that black folks wouldn't have been talking about that because we don't get together to do nothing but what we call culture, shake our butts and act like that's the extent of culture and celebrate. Okay? So until we start coming together for substantive issues, we're gonna always be in this condition because we always stay the same. Okay, so the bottom line is this: until we start thinking in an elevated and acting in an elevated standard, we're never gonna reach that elevated standard, and we're never gonna be bound to be respected as people that merit to be treated like they're working at an elevated standard. It's just the way it is. Look, black people, we have to realize we're never going to get results that we're getting. We're never going to change the result we're getting right now if we keep doing the same thing. Until black people start acting like black people are valued by the black community, and start those people who are comfortably black start getting involved with the 90% of the rest of us. We say we hustlers. No, we're not hustlers. We strugglers. We're poor people in this city. We got one or two black folks that's doing good, and we acting like that's the community. Most of the black community, I bet you, if you took a statistical average of how much we're making less than the national average, or what black people make. And black people make horrendously below our capabilities. So until we start coming together, doing productive stuff like giving think tanks and talking about meat and potato daily issues that's affecting our politics, we're never going to change our circumstances in the city, in this country, or the world.
Cool. All right, Kev. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. More coming up, y'all. Gotta take a break.
Hey, this is Dave Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Tremay, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
The NAACP New Orleans branch invites you to our 2025 Freedom Fund Banquet and Awards Ceremony, a night to uplift and celebrate. Join us Saturday, November 1st from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Xavier University's Center Grand Ballroom. Through your support, dollars fund scholarships, youth programs, and vital community projects. It's keeping the struggle to preserve civil rights current and vigorous. For tickets and information, call 504-460-7765.
Hey, Pontchartrain Park. Thanks for listening to WBOK.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Said you was listening. What's going on with you?
Hey, man, how are you?
Good yourself.
I would love when you talk to Mr. Dubose, I would love for you to ask him why does he continue to talk as if the current mayor is trying to sabotage the mayor-elect when there is a letter and emails notifying the city council of a deficit at the end of January. When we talk about black excellence here in the city of New Orleans, forgive my grammar, there ain't none. This past election proved it. We have forgotten that our culture ain't second lining. Our culture is not rappers from here. Our culture is embedded inside of us. Our culture is our moral fibers, which enhances second lining or whatever that's from here. And we've lost the man and the woman in the mirror. And until we can galvanize and get us back spiritually, we're just spinning, we're just tasting our tails. At least the monkeys that was involved in that crash had enough sense to run. They had enough sense to do something. We don't. There ain't no black culture. Have a good one.
You don't think there's no black culture?
No, there ain't no black culture here. We just do stuff for show, and some of us do stuff for our own self-aggrandizement, for our own benefit. We ain't thinking about the masses. We truly ain't thinking about the people that's in the line at TCA. We ain't thinking about the people that's in the food line at Giving Hope in New Orleans East. No, it's a facade. We don't care. But guess what, Gerard? As we continue to hurt more, then maybe people will be forced to care. Have a good one.
All right, Seb. I don't know. I do think that the culture, and I ain't disagreeing with you, but I'm disagreeing with you, said. So forgive me for that. I do think that there's a culture here, but there's a but that goes along with it. That's why I say I agree but disagree. I think a lot of us have learned what it supposedly is the culture, but don't care why there is a culture. Does that make sense? You may care that there is a culture, but do you understand why there is a culture? Do you understand that red beans and rice is a part of the culture on Mondays? Do you understand why that there are second lines and Mardi Gras groups that are mainly black people? Do you understand why there are certain groups of folks that are considered our elitists that got their names on the side of these buildings? But I'm hoping that what I'm saying is making sense to you. Because I do think that we have a culture that people will, well, maybe it's tradition. See, there's so many different parts of that. I should have asked that question too about the culture of what we see. Because I saw something the other night and I was like, what? But again, I didn't realize that there was such a celebration of the dead for Halloween. And as I looked at the photos, the video of the news cameras that were shooting all the people that were out there for the second line for the culture, that's what they kept calling it. But it was a second line to me for the dead. How would you? No, I don't know. See, some of this gets confusing to me because I end up saying it wrong, and then people take it wrong. Because in the city of New Orleans, every year we sit back we sit back and we make count. We do. We count how many people in a year get killed. Y'all do know that. Not how many people died, but how many people get killed. Homicide. Oh, our murder count is 200 and something. Lowest we've ever seen it in a day. Lowest we've seen it in 18. Okay. So that's how I know how many of us die. But what you don't hear about is the number of people that got shot, stabbed, put in a position where you could have been killed, but you survived. That number is 2 and 3 times higher. So if somebody got shot and survived, I'd like to hear what that number is, because I can tell you if the number of people that died is low at 200, the people that got shot, stabbed, or whatever and survived is double it. And that's why I said people that listen to what I say about those issues get really upset with me, because I tell them that the only difference between the people that pulled the trigger or the people that tried to plunge a knife in you or some other object and tried to kill you, the only difference is for a person that has a gun, more than likely they can't shoot. Hello? What did you just say? I said that person that has pulled the trigger on you and you survive. The only difference between that murder and somebody that survived is that they're more than likely they can't shoot. Somebody that pulls the trigger on and tries to shoot you and hits you, but you survive, is trying to kill you. They're not just pulling the trigger to say, "Oh, okay, let's get him. Let's shoot him in the leg. Let's make him limp for the rest of his life." They're not trying to do that. They're trying to put you down. Somebody that plunges a knife in you is trying to do the same. But this is personal, because a knife wound, razor wound, this is personal. This is up close and personal. More than likely somebody you know, somebody that you've had some type of relationship with, or somebody that you're going to make sure that they don't get back up, because this is hands-on. Unless they got a 6 foot, 8 foot sword trying to kill you? No. And anybody that tries to hit you over the head with a bat or something of that sort, that's somebody that's trying to hurt you. And don't mind if you don't make it. So I do think that we're looking at what is and what ain't, because said it best. Are they really concerned about tradition? Do they know what the tradition is? And then on the other hand, said, I got to look at it too. We've all seen this, and this is going to sound terrible. When we look at the second line, and ain't none of us in it. Hello? Did y'all hear the words that were coming out of my mouth?
No.
When we see a second line, and we not in it, what'd that say? Anybody can do a second line? Anybody can do it? Yeah, that's what it says. But it also says that our traditions or part of our culture has always and will always be stolen by other folks. We got to take a break, y'all. News is coming up next, and we'll take some more of your telephone calls.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. It's Election Day in California, where voters are weighing Proposition 50, a Democrat-backed measure to redraw congressional maps. Supported by former President Barack Obama, it aims to counter GOP redistricting in Texas.
It's absolutely true that there's fraud in California's elections. It's just a fact.
President Trump and his administration have claimed without evidence that the election is rigged. Maryland's black governor Wes Moore is forming a bipartisan commission to study mid-cycle redistricting in Maryland. Republicans call it a partisan power grab. The move comes a week after Senate leaders said they would not redraw the state's map this cycle. And rapper Kanye West is once again delaying his album Bully, which has had 5 release dates since its 2024 announcement. Originally set for June 15th, the rapper instead dropped 3 singles, including Beauty and the Beast. The NFR podcast now reports the album will release December 12th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. You know, the other thing, too, that I want, and this was actually going to be a part of my conversation piece. And wait, you can comment on this one, too, because I kind of want to get this conversation started, because I don't think I've heard where there's a possibility of 2 folks with separate trials. They're going in front of the federal courts, 2 separate trials. I'm talking about the mayor, and I'm talking about our good friend Jeffrey Vappy. And there's a ruling that says that you can't talk to me and I can't talk to you outside of court.
And they told her that she tried to get special permission to be able to speak to Mr. Vappy, and he was denied.
Can't hear you.
I said that Mayor LaToya Titi was trying to get special permission to be able to speak to him outside of the court. And the judge said, nah, partner, that ain't happening.
Why? It's two separate cases, though, right?
Two separate cases, but I don't know. They might think they might be shell shocked or something, thinking that she might try to help him on his case and he help her on her case and blah 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 and so on and so forth. I don't know. You never know what people's thinkings are these days.
So if he helps her, there's a problem. Or if she helps him, there's a problem with them talking?
Unfortunately.
I was about to call. I may have to do that one, Susan, because I'm not in all up on my law. But you can't talk to me, and I can't talk to you.
The way things are these days, bro, I don't put anything past anyone.
So how about, well, this is not somebody saying this. This is me asking the question. What if they got married?
Whoa, now.
I mean, he's single. She's a widower.
If they get married, well, there will be no bedroom talk.
I'll be damned. There's gonna be some bedroom talk. Like, what did y'all say?
X-rated.
It started off with "What's my name?"
Say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
Let me stop, because they listen.
Let me stop. Because they're gonna be coming for both of us.
But I didn't know that you just couldn't. I can't even say hello.
You can't say anything. All you can do is give a nod. As she walks by, you walk by.
Can't even say that. You
They
said
can't,
something.
they can't even nod at each other.
In Negro terms, you said something. Because you do me like that, I know that means what's up.
Yep. Or you do the nod with the grin on your face. Like, all right, I got you.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask Jerry. Jerry.
Hey, Gerard, how you doing, man?
Good,
It's
man.
been a while since I called, bro. Look, I'm calling today for a friend of mine and somebody who I know can do a good job as a clerk of court, and that's Calvin Duncan, man. I know him personally. I'm ex-convict. You probably know that. And when I was in jail, and many times I went to DB court. Calvin tried to get a lower sentence from me, like as far as days in the dungeon.
I'm not gonna sit here and take the testimony for.
No, it's not going to be a testimony. But I just like to.
But that's what you're doing. You're giving a testimony for a candidate.
No, I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to cut it off right with this. I'm going to cut it off with this. The man has got integrity, bro.
Jerry, you're still doing a testimony for a political candidate. I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to get on there, bro. I'm sorry about that then. Okay, well, anyway, I just wanted to get that in, and I should have probably waited until y'all was talking about politics to get it in, but,
We're talking about politics, but we're not talking about two candidates that are in the middle of early voting.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can understand the impropriety. You would see that.
You do? Then why you call me with that?
Well, I just wanted to help Calvin become.
I know, that's what I'm telling you. We can't do that. That sounds like we're setting it up for one candidate, but not another. So as far as testimony is
I know for a fact you didn't know I was going to call, bro, because I ain't called in a while.
It's for somebody that's going to believe you. Yeah, that's cool. But then I'm going to get the telephone calls from the owners saying that I encourage you to call in.
Yeah, I hear you. I understand where you're at with that. I understand that.
All right.
Okay.
When people don't online looking at me like, why is he just staring off into space? Y'all gonna miss me when I'm gone, though. Y'all gonna miss me when I'm gone. Y'all gonna miss me when I'm gone. Lord have mercy. So nobody heard what I was talking about, and you just changed the subject and called in. Okay. So early voting is going on. I hope y'all get out and vote. That's my political conversation about what's going on. Because for you all that have say, "Oh yeah, voting," I guess more than anything, I'm just getting sick of us talking about it, and then we ain't going, and then we sit up and talk about what we ain't offering and telling the people to go. Look, that's why we in the pickle. I almost said something bad, but that's why we in the pickle that we in right now. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. Oh, I can't believe. Do y'all know that in this business of journalism, in this business of talk radio, how many of us realize that there are not enough talk shows in the world that talk about our issues? They talk about everybody else's issues, but they don't talk about ours. That's why we don't find out about a lot of stuff that's getting ready to affect us, or we can't determine the difference between the right information and misinformation. We can't. So I don't want us not to go vote. I want us to go, but I want us to go in droves. I think it's your right, it's your duty. So really, the number of people that I keep hearing complaining about the position that we in, I bring up a lot. I do bring up a lot, and I try to bring up a lot of stuff that's going to affect you directly. But all of this going out and talking about some, yeah, we gonna do this one, we gonna do that. Y'all ain't done nothing. I'm so disappointed. Ain't you disappointed? For those of you that go out and vote and do your duty, and then you hear that, 28 to 30% of the people, or 30% to 38% of the people went out and voted, and the block of voters that actually won the election were the closest block of folks that ended up being the same folks that voted for Trump in New Orleans. And I'm going to tell you something else. My prediction, and I know I'm going to get all these telephone calls from folks that's going to be like, man, you shouldn't have said that. It seems now every time I say something, it ends up in somebody's tabloid paper, or somebody can't believe that I said this and did. That means because you're living on every word that I say, or you're just trying to get some hits on your social media so that you can be important because people want to hear controversy. I don't give a damn. I don't care. But I've just gotten to the point now where I really think that a whole bunch of mouthpieces out there that ain't saying nothing. Ain't saying nothing. You have free media, paid for media, invented media, phone media, television media, all these different medias of black folks. And I have not seen 30 of you all, not 5 or 10, I say 30 of you all. I have not seen 30 of you all post nothing about people going out in the early voting. You have the free media, and you want to call yourself an influencer. What you influencing? It's a mess. Not 30 of you. I don't see it in my timeline. If somebody goes through their timeline today, how many people have you seen? I don't care if you're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Hickory Dickory Dock. How many people have you seen just put up a post that says, don't forget to early vote? None. Zero. Roberto.
Yes, good evening, and thank you for taking my call, Gerard. You hit the nail on the head, but let me tell you this. They say what the NAACP don't do, so I hope you'll get your pens out. But we advertise on the Black Station, and on Saturday, we were part of that 4,000 people that went out early voting. We walked, called, and knocked on doors. Some of our members, plus we had a banquet that night, had our Freedom from banquet that night. We're going to continue to be out there. We're not supporting anybody, but we are telling folks vote no for number one proposition.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that we dealt with the number 2 amendment on the budget. On the city budget, said we get 2%. Now they want to put it with bonds. It's not going to happen. We don't want a bond. We want the 2% of our tax money back in this community to fix property so we won't lose our property code enforcement. We won't lose them to a blight, and we'll be able to build them again. But we've been on our end. So again, we out there. Yesterday we had some phone banking. Matter of fact, and for another hour we got some phone banking going in New Orleans East. Not to protect, not any candidate, but to get out and vote. That's what we are. So at the end of the day, you're right, Gerard. These political organizations, you only hear from them in turn. They tell you who to endorse and who to vote for. But they don't even explain the amendments to you.
Nope.
They got some other groups in the city, like I can name a few that's doing the work that all year long. And they're there. And it's just what it is. But at the end of the day, it's like you say, the same numbers that came up for the Orange Conundrum came up again in New Orleans. So I'll tell you right now, I'm getting a lot of calls on what y'all going to do about we not getting food stamps. When I'm asked Ted right now, when I've been asked you, let's get out and vote, that's a joke. Man, you need to let it go sometime. But this is the result of you staying home. America is hungry. Louisiana is hungry. New Orleans is hungry because you decided it wasn't important. So the next time you ask me what they voted mean, they're going to do what they want anyway, I'm going to tell you, you're doggone right. In closing, Gerard, I said the other night, Richard Pryor was doing something real bad, and he summons Jim Brown. And Jim Brown's walking in the room and said, Richard, what you going to do? Richard, what you going to do? So I'm going to leave that with you all. All you non-voters got all these excuses about because you don't want to hear about nobody dying and none of that. Guess what? You got hunger on your hands because you sat on them. So every one of you all that didn't get out and vote, for whatever reason you come up with, you are part of the problem of where we are today in this city, this state, and this country because you didn't go vote. That's my deal. So I'll be out there tomorrow. We're canvassing, and we're on the phone bank. We're going to be out there till it's over. We're not endorsing no candidate, only the proposition vote no for proposition number 1. That's where we are, Gerard.
Got you. All right.
So remember, all y'all non-voters, you are hungry for our elderly and our children. It's on your hand. Thank you, Gerard.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Miss Tamika. Miss Tamika?
Yes.
How art thou?
I'm good. How you doing?
I think I'm still hanging in here.
I didn't hear you. What you say?
I said, I think I'm still hanging in here. What's going on?
You hanging in there. I hear you. I hear you every day. Trust me. You hanging in there. You're doing a good job, I must say. I appreciate you, and I always look forward to listening. You know, I do want to speak up for myself, and I'm pretty sure, you know, the people, my circle. I will tell you, I've been posting on my stories. You know, some people, they're not going to your actual profile, your feed. So I'm making sure for the nosy people, I'm posting on my stories. I'm asking people to early vote. You know, I'm sharing the information that gets missed on the news. I will say I was very, very, very shocked and very appreciative when WWL-TV actually played a snippet of OT's meeting and what he had to say in regards to the state taking over. I just thought that was so wise, and I just thought it was powerful because what he said, he spoke truth. He truly did. And it seems like maybe a few days after that, that's when New Orleans decided to play hardball and not take or try to ask for the money to help them get out of this deficit. You know, I don't know where that's going to go. I'm hoping that they have things in place. I've seen they sold off a few buildings or whatnot in the city, and I'm hoping that this can kind of help them either revive or go back to the table, negotiate, because I truly don't understand how is it the state and other parishes can prosper, you know, off of the revenue in a big portion revenue that the city brings in. And I'm praying that whoever's getting into office, which we now know because of the winners or whatnot, that they do right by the city. You know, I just hope it doesn't fall by the wayside, you know, every so many years, and people are definitely disappointed with how things did or didn't go with Cantrell, but that sink has sailed, and it's time for us to collectively, as a city, get off our behind and start doing what is necessary to bring this city back to where it needs to be and better. I am definitely going out to do my early voting. I hope I don't get muted for this, but personally, this is my personal opinion. I am voting for Mr. Duncan. I wish him the best. I have a very, very hard time with incumbents that are trying to stay in the office but don't necessarily do the job. You know, which brings me to Miss Cindy Wynn. You know, seems like a decent lady. Don't have anything bad to say about her, but not who I would vote for. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. You know, I feel like you had enough time to, whether it was grocery stores, whether it was businesses, whether it was cleaning up these rotten apartment complexes in New Orleans East. God bless you. I know you know, more than likely, maybe she's from Miss You. Beautiful people out there. Love y'all. Mwah. But I don't think that that's who needs to be chosen to represent District E. And that's just my personal opinion.
I gotta tell you, like I told Jerry, I'm not trying to endorse any of their candidates.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, just my personal opinion. I know it. Just know it. It's not the G-Man. I don't have his text, his personal text. I didn't text him. You know, this is just my personal opinion. I'm speaking from my heart. You know, when I call, I speak from my heart. I try to give my opinion whenever I, you know, put things out there. And I try my best to stay facts if I can. You know, the city, as I always say when I call.
So did you hear the information that we put out about this bond? This is not a bond that the state has to. And look, I listened to several of the folks that have called in, and I'm trying to be as politically correct with this as I possibly can. And I was asking everybody, did they hear the information? What I did not want was the information to get lost in what they believe in Clancy Dubose. And that's where we hit it. Why he do this and why he do that. No. But did you hear the information about the bond? This is not a state bond. It is a bond commission that the state has nothing to do with. None of us have to lend no money. No money's coming out of the state. And I was like sitting back and going like, did anybody get that?
Probably not. Probably went over their heads. You know.
That's why I'm gonna play it again.
Yeah, I think you should. I once I got off of work, I probably came in to the conversation a little late.
Well, this has become a political posturing than anything else. And I'm hoping everybody will get it and stop looking at the messenger and listen to the message.
Right. I agree. I would have to agree with you. There's nothing that you've ever said that didn't make me think or didn't make me do my research, to where at the end, once I did my research, I was able to make my own opinion and say, he's right. He's right.
So
I agree.
We can play it again.
Okay.
All right,
so
my dear. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I hope everybody gets out and vote. If you're my Facebook friend, look at my story. Y'all have a blessed night.
All right, my dear. You take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, you too.
That's Miss Tamika, y'all. We got to take a break. We're going to come back with more. Just a minute, everybody. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. We got more coming up.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Brandis Daniel is looking to boost diversity in the fashion world.
Department stores would carry hundreds of designers, but less than 1% of those designers were designers of color.
That's Daniel speaking to Bloomberg about a realization she had years ago about the lack of diverse talent in fashion that led her to creating Harlem's Fashion Row. It's an agency focused on building a bridge between big brands and designers of color.
We donated over $1 million to HBCU fashion departments, thanks to companies like Gap. We've gotten incredible support from Nike and Nordstrom, and so many other companies have allowed us to be able to support these HBCU fashion departments as well as designers of color.
Through Harlem's Fashion Row, Daniel has forged relationships with popular brands and directly impacted young designers of color. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America. Proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
New Orleans, are you ready? A fresh voice in the city is here, bringing you the beats, the culture, and the stories that matter. From local music and food to real talk on what's happening in the streets. We've got you covered. Stay tapped in. Follow us on all platforms at WBOK 1230 for the latest updates and exclusive content. Your city, your culture, your news. Don't just hear about it, be about it. Follow WBOK 1230 now.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Tremay, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
WL Louisiana political analyst Clancy Dubose. And before we talk about the fiscal administrator, Clancy, you said something just now that we heard from Jeff Landry, where there is a misconception that this loan would mean money out of the state, money from the state. Can you explain exactly what's happening here?
A couple of things that we need to make sure people understand what's going on here. First of all, the city's not getting a bond from the state. Okay, they're not asking the state for a bond. The city's asking for perfunctory state permission to sell bonds, which is the way government borrows money.
Right.
When government borrows money, they sell a bond, which is the same as a person going to a bank or a mortgage company and signing a mortgage.
Right.
You bond yourself, you commit yourself to pay back this money. So not one penny of state money would go into this city plan, okay? Nothing from the state, only perfunctory permission to sell the bonds paid back by city revenues, not state monies. The state would not have its full faith and credit on the line behind this.
Right.
It would purely come from the city. And that's why I think this is all a political move.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you this.
Pure politics, in my opinion. But
Attorney
let me tell you why. The governor also said New Orleans needs to be treated like everybody else. Well, Jefferson Parish is having enormous fiscal problems.
Right.
Not a peep out of Jeff Landry about a fiscal administrator for Jefferson Parish. Why not?
Well,
what's the difference? It's a bigger parish.
Yeah.
It's got big problems fiscally.
Right.
And yet nothing.
Liz Murrill being adamant, we heard the council member say that she's adamant about this fiscal administrator, kind of that is her bottom line here. How much of this is political power struggle or a legitimate fiscal intervention? And if that fiscal intervention happens, what power would they have over the city of New Orleans?
Well, we could look at it two ways. Let's look at it politically, first of all. Liz Murrill is the most powerful woman in state government. And she probably deny it, but she clearly wants to be governor. Everybody in politics in Louisiana, everybody who knows anything about politics in Louisiana knows that Liz Murrill wants to be governor one day. This is the launch of her campaign. Against who? The most powerful woman in the city of New Orleans, who's also popular, a Democrat, attractive, articulate, a potential opponent. Although I can tell you, I don't think Helena Moreno has any aspirations to be governor. But Liz Murrill may not see it that way. It may just be that she wants to mine some gold out of this.
Right.
I think it's mostly political, but there is a legitimate fiscal crisis in the city of New Orleans, but the city should solve it. And we've been in this position before, by the way, where an outgoing mayor created or left a big hole in the budget for the mayor's successor. Dutch Montreal put Sidney Barthélemy in a giant hole, and what did Barthélemy do? They furloughed workers. They closed City Hall down for 1 day a week for several months.
Right.
And they got through it. They tightened the belt, and people were inconvenienced, okay? Yeah. It's going to be an inconvenience, folks, but the city can get through this.
Yeah,
if the state doesn't want to let the city borrow the money and pay it back with city dollars, not one penny of state dollars, then that's on the state. Now, to the administrator, and this is really important, that administrator would have what's called plenary powers. Not plenty of powers, but plenary means everything. There would be no city charter.
Right.
That person could come in and abolish departments, cancel contracts, grant new contracts, hire people, fire people, change everything. And guess what? If Liz Murrill and the state treasurer, John Fleming, who is running for the U.S. Senate, and the state legislative fiscal auditor, the legislative auditor, want to come in and put this person in there, then guess what? They will own every pothole, every murder, every burglary, every fire, every flood.
Right.
Everything that goes wrong in the city, because when you have that much power, you are responsible for everything.
All right, Clancy, we're going to end it here. Hopefully
it's a dangerous game they're playing.
We are playing a dangerous game, and balancing the city autonomy as well as trying to protect it and have transparency is it's going to be an interesting situation. Clancy, thanks so much.
All right, there you have it.
Happy to be here.
That's why we wanted to play it again, because I wanted you to get the meaning. And honestly, to tell you the truth, the person, if you don't like him, I understand. I'm not listening to the information because I like or dislike the person. I'm listening to the information because I want to know what's the explanation of this. And I think he did a very good job in breaking it down. I don't care about what they say about Helena. I don't care what they're saying about Liz Murrill. I want to hear what the information and where this is going to lead us. And did you know that this is not state money, because state don't have the money, or city money, because we don't have the money. This is how everybody does bonds, no matter what. And then the other comparison I would have to say is our information is out here like it's hanging off the side of the G&O. We, on the other hand, have not had a real conversation about what's going on in Jefferson Parish. And if they're in the same situation, how come there's not been the same type of push in the media like it is about what's happening in New Orleans? Ms. Matthews? Ms. Matthews, did I lose you?
No, I'm here, Gerard. How you doing?
Good, dear. How you doing?
Well, I had a couple of comments. The first thing I want to say, me and my sister went early voted today, and I was frustrated too because the only people I saw down there at City Hall was a couple of older people, a couple of people on walkers and canes, and I didn't see enough young people, and we sat outside afterwards and talked for a while, So that was disappointing to me.
I just don't think we reached the young people. I don't think we reached the young people. We say that, we want to do something for young people, but the question has been, and I think still is, how do you reach the young people, and who do you ask? The young people. So do we ask them enough?
Well, I know the ones in my family, I talk to them, I encourage them to go vote. And that's how today me and a couple of friends, we have been calling around to encourage each other to go vote. And one of them even called me to tell me that the Lyft bus is going to be free Saturday to go vote. But I told her I had already gone with my sister to vote today. Because, voting is so important to us because we know the ramifications of it.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, and I'm going to just say this, and I know my phone's going to fly off the hook, we might go a little bit to vote when the primary. But when there's a runoff, we don't go vote.
Usually we don't return,
go vote at all.
That's the truth. And from what you were saying, and I think that's why in New Orleans we really can't make progress like we should, because these people already know that by and large, the majority of us are not going to go out and vote. So that's why they do a lot of the stuff to us that they do.
Right.
But it's not that all of us are not aware, because, I keep up with politics, and, the same way, what you were saying with the Clancy Dubose thing. What I didn't like about it, to me, they keep trying to blame the mayor for everything.
Right.
The mayor wasn't governing by herself. That's what all the shenanigans was about.
All right.
The city
Now, I agree with you on
council
that because
control.
she was not governing by herself. You are correct.
Right. They kept fighting for more. They wanted more and more control of the city council.
Yep.
And personally, I believe they already knew about this mess, but they kept it quiet till after the election. There's no way that they didn't know about this before the election came. That's why I was saying, to me, why would we vote the same people in? And they were the ones who were sitting there when the crisis happened. So that, to me, that was silly. And then the other thing, what I want to say, I think they are targeting the mayor and Jeffrey Baxter unfairly, because I know I've been around and I've heard of a lot of federal trials, and I've never heard of people not being able to talk to each other.
I'm trying to figure out, have I heard that before? Or am I just having a moment of amnesia? Because I'm like, I don't remember when you had some type of order from a judge that you can't even talk to the person.
Yeah, a lot of to me, a lot of.
Am I just being? I might be just being, having my moments of amnesia, but I didn't know that you couldn't just talk to nobody.
No, because I know I've never heard of it before, but I think a lot of it is designed to embarrass her, to tarnish her image, just basically just to treat unfairly. Because, first of all, in America, you're supposed to be considered innocent until you're proven guilty.
Right.
And just because you're indicted don't mean you're guilty. That's what courts are for,
Yeah.
But I say, this, it just breaks my heart, because to me, it's just like what you were saying with the culture. Yes, we have a culture here, and we have a strong culture. But the problem is our culture don't produce dollars. The majority of the citizens in this, I'm speaking of black citizens, are suffering economically. So it's like we're not making money off of the culture. And as you were saying earlier, there are other people who are coming in making money off this culture that we've had for many a years, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So to me, and that's why, I'm so frustrated with them right now because, they have this big budget hole and they just figure they can keep passing on the fees to citizens, but we already hurting because it's not just taxes going up, our groceries going up, the insurance going up, and if we live it in on a monthly income already, how in the heck they think we can keep paying for all these things?
Yeah.
To me, no, you need to be more responsible with the people's money.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All
Miss
right,
Matthews.
Gerard.
I appreciate
See
you much,
see
dear.
you later.
All righty.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Mr. Buddy. Mr. Buddy. So you're listening to the rebroadcast online. You need to pick up your phone. Pick up your phone.
How you doing, Gerard?
There he is. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
Good.
Well, I called to talk about the bond issue and the loan or the payday bond or whatever they are. The city's trying to get for the $160 million.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, we passed the change to the city charter where the housing was going to get 2% of the general fund.
For housing.
Now,
that's for housing.
Pardon?
You said for housing, right? The 2%
Yeah, for housing.
of the general fund, 2% of it is supposed to go to housing. Yes.
Right. Okay.
That was last year.
So now I can understand the state balking at the $160 million loan, not because the state, it's the city's obligation to pay back, but because you have a state bond commission, you're putting the state on the line as a co-signer. In case of default, the state would have to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, we passed the 2% change to the city charter for housing, and now they're wanting to float a bond for $45 million to pay that 2% off and substitute that. You don't use bond money to pay recurring costs, and that's my objection to amendment number one or proposition the ballot measure. You don't use bond money, which is one-time money, to pay off recurring costs. They set up the change to the city charter to have it come out annually every year to pay for housing. It's wrong to use bond money to substitute for taking it out of the general fund. And I can understand the state watching this going on, being very leery about putting their name behind letting the city borrow money on that $165 million, wanting to float a small short-term bond when they're watching this going on at the same time. And that's what my objection is to it. And it, frankly, it makes the city look bad. It makes the city look like you're still up to your financial shenanigans and you still can't run things properly. And
so your objection to this, Force, you say you do not pay off the bond with short-term money or non-reoccurring money in a situation where you have in a situation. Hold on, let me finish my statement. And that is, in a situation like this, have we ever been in this situation before?
Yes.
When? Well, you're talking about
back in the day with Bartholomew.
I mean, come on. How long ago was that? Good Lord. We were talking
it's the same thing.
25, 30 years ago?
It's the same thing.
Did they default on it?
I don't think so.
So why not use it if it's going to get you out of a situation?
But you understand what I'm saying? I'm not really talking. I'm really talking about the proposition for a 30-year bond for $45 million to pay off a recurring cost that we wrote into the city charter, where 2% of the general fund would go to the housing, and now we're going to go to the bonds to pay that off instead of taking out a recurring tax money like property taxes and sales taxes and all that.
Okay, so they're
That's
just moving the money around.
Pardon?
You saying they just
Yeah,
moving
they're
the money
playing
around?
a shell game. They're playing a shell game.
So my question would be to you, why are they? Oh Lord, they had an airplane crash in Louisville.
Yeah, it was a UPS 747.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. I just looked up at the television at the same time, looking at all the
So
flames.
it's a cargo plane.
Wow, wow. But back to my question. I'm sorry. Well, why not do this, and why do you think that they're trying to move this money around?
Because they're wanting to issue a 30-year bond or whatever it is on this new on the 15th. This $45 million to pay the recurring bill, where we were going to take 2% of the general fund money and put it toward housing, and they're going to use this bond money to pay that. And that's wrong. That's wrong on so many levels.
So nobody's saying it.
Bonds, when you do bonds like that, that's for one-time projects. Like you're going to build a bridge, and when you pay the bond back, the bridge is built, and then you pay the bond back, and then it's over. And you don't. It's not recurring. It's not coming up. It's a one-time cost. I mean, if you were going to build housing units and you didn't have money coming out of the general fund to build housing units, that would be a one-time cost. But when you have a recurring expense, which is coming out of the general fund, 2% written in the city charter, then to go back to the people again and to the state, actually, because you're using bond authority, the authority to issue a bond, and you've only got a limit on the amount of bonds you can issue to pay recurring costs, that's not right. And that's why I'm going to vote no.
I got to think a little bit more on there because I don't see and I'm just saying, I don't see the problem. And the only reason I haven't said that, yeah, you're right. Because when I'm saying I don't see the problem, they're going to have to go back anyway.
Back for what? Which one?
They're going to have to go back to the bond commission anyway to make sure that they are. How long do they say that these bonds for this what $160 million plus this 45 will be?
No, the $45 million bond, I'm reading it right off here, not to exceed 30 years.
Right.
In multiple series, each series not to exceed 30 years.
So this is just like a mortgage. So this is just like a mortgage.
Yeah, at 8%. And we're already dedicating 2% of the general fund of the city every year, our tax dollars.
So you're going to have to go back and redo it anyway.
You're going to borrow on top of that?
The next year, you're going to have to go back and do it again anyway, right?
But we wrote that in the city charter.
Right.
And you're going to borrow money on top of that and have to pay 8%.
Right.
Not to exceed 8% per annum. Well, I guarantee you it's probably going to be almost 8%. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're robbing. What you're doing is you're borrowing on a recurring debt that you wrote into the city charter by the city constitution, charter, whatever, that you promised 2%, and now you're going to borrow money to pay that 2%. That's not good.
No.
It smells 4 ways from Sunday.
Okay. All right. I got to take my break here, but we'll have this conversation some more.
All right.
Thank you, sir. All right. Y'all, more coming up. We got more telephone calls in just a minute. Hold on.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Former Vice President Dick Cheney, one of the most influential and controversial figures in modern American politics, has died at 84. His family says he passed from complications of pneumonia and heart disease. Cheney spent more than 50 years at the center of power, from serving under Presidents Nixon and Ford to leading the Pentagon during the Gulf War, and later shaping national security after 9/11 as George W. Bush's vice president. His belief in an unrestrained presidency helped define the early 2000s, from warrantless surveillance surveillance to the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Both feared and respected, a strategist who rarely courted headlines but shaped them daily. Even after leaving office, Cheney remained a force. In 2024, he shocked Republicans by endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris, calling Donald Trump a grave threat to American democracy. President Bush remembered him as a patriot and one of the finest public servants of his generation. For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Here's the latest episode of our political theater. Governor Jeff Landry, who fancies himself as a disciple to President Donald Trump, was smacked down a few days ago by the New Orleans City Council in his attempt to take over city finances. With the city of New Orleans facing a potentially devastating $160 million budget deficit, the City Council had requested that the State Bond Commission approve a bridge loan to cover the city payroll through the end of the year. Now, the loan wouldn't cost taxpayers or the state any money. The city would use existing revenues to repay the loan come January. In his argument against the loan, Governor Landry contends the city needs to learn a lesson to fix its own financial problem rather than rely on state-backed debt. The governor and the state attorney general, however, demanded that the city of New Orleans install a state-appointed fiscal administrator to run the city's finances in exchange for the loan. The city council says that will never happen and has now withdrawn its loan request approval from the Bond Commission. Critics accuse the governor of using the New Orleans financial crisis as a power grab to get his hands on city finances. And it should escape no one that the city of New Orleans accounts for 23% of the state of Louisiana's budget. Now imagine that revenue in the authoritarian hands of our wannabe authoritarian governor. Perhaps I'm overthinking the governor's intentions, but power grab or not, his position to oppose a sound fiscal request from the city council appears to be a jackass move to me. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
A message from the community scientist. Do you live or work in St. James, St. John, St. Charles, Ascension, Calcasieu, Baton Rouge, or St. Bernard Parish? You may be exposed to harmful chemicals like phthalates, BPA, and flame retardants found in everyday products but linked to serious health risks. That's why the Community Scientist, a program of Rise St. James, brings you clear, science-based facts that protect your health and our environment. Stay informed, stay empowered. Visit risestjames.org today.
Hi, this is Cary Grant. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events and sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join us every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Cary Show.
517 Bunny Road is the place to be. Now those kids was in pictures.
Late night and still hungry? We've got you. Strong drinks, old school jams, and plates that hit every time. From breakfast classics to flavors that feel like home. Cool vibes, fast service, and the party doesn't stop till you do. This Saturday night, we're keeping it live till 2 a.m. Pull up to 2517 Bayou Road. Nano's is the place to be. Good food, good music, good people. Come hungry, leave happy.
You've got responsibilities, but that doesn't mean your dreams are on hold. At Southern University at New Orleans, our evening and weekend college is designed with your life in mind. Finish your degree, start a new one, on your time, your degree, your schedule. No excuses, just opportunity. Visit suno.edu and make your next move today.
Meet Leanna, a
part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Get in on the conversation at 504-582-9422. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right. Welcome back. A few minutes here before we get out, so let me make sure I can get these calls. What you say, AA Ron? AA Ron. We miss AA Ron? How we gonna miss AA Ron? D. Allen.
Would you say that, G?
What's going on with you?
Oh man, what ain't going on with this city, man? Golly, man. But y'all left out one. You forgot St. Tammany having a doozy over there too with their finances as well, man. So it's looking nationally, state-wise, and locally in the surrounding areas, man. Everything is a financial S show, man. And
I'm wondering why is everybody just like all up in our grill, but nobody's talking about these
But
other
you know what?
cities.
Because everybody, you know how it is. It's like I always use the sports analogy. Everybody wants to look at your team and say what they could do with your team if they was coaching it. So if you saying, oh, if I had the ability that New Orleans have with the potential they have, you see what I'm saying? Everybody want to be, you know, Mike Krzyzewski or Phil Jackson. You know, that's what they thinking. If I was in charge or if we were in charge, this is what I would do, and it would be a utopia. But it's hard to be a utopia when you see the games that the state has been playing with the city of New Orleans ever since they moved the capital out of New Orleans.
Yep.
So you have to understand the history of that, right? Ever since, you know, so it's like, you know, New Orleans is propping up this whole state just about, you know, except for the oil and gas. But other than that, you see how they use New Orleans, you know. I think New Orleans really got into this, and what nobody don't want to say, with the Super Bowl, you know. We had to make commitments, you know, to people, and I don't hear anybody talking about this. You had everybody came from far and wide and ate off the city's budget. Who paid for that? Did the Super Bowl say, hey, we're going to drop off extra money to pay for that security?
Nope.
Did the state say we're going to commit to work with the city of New Orleans? Did they do that, G? Did they help us in any kind of way? They say, okay, y'all put on better than anybody in the world. Now come on, put on. And I hate to say it, and they kissed us, and it was like Cinderella at 12 o'clock. You know, all right, thank you, goodbye. And they rolled up out of here, and look what they done left us with. You know, and I hate to do this, but, you know, this lies at the feet of the president of the city council. I thoroughly believe and strongly believe you knew what was going on, but most of these individuals who were on the council, they were asleep at the wheel because they were eyeing their own personal agendas.
Yep.
And they didn't keep their eye on the ball. And in that vacuum, people came in and took advantage of this city. And now the citizens of the city are going to have to pay the consequence of that.
Yep.
And I still, for the life of me, G, I didn't call in. You notice when the results came out, I didn't call in. And I couldn't because it took me so long to get over the fact that your current city council president got 50,000 votes. Man, that disturbed me. And now look at you. 50,000 people voted for this person who was supposed to make sure that you were fiduciarily responsible for the citizens. And look at this. And then as soon as the smoke cleared up from the election, surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, New Orleans.
A lot of folks ain't paying attention and don't know government. We are armchair government officials. So there you go. So, but look, I got to run out of here, brother. Let me get out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You got to call me during the show during another time.
Yeah. I got you though, man.
Love you much, brother. Appreciate you.
Y'all take care.
All right, man. D. Allen been with us forever and a day. Before I go, I do want to say we with you. We are with you. I'm talking about Michelle Miller. Michelle Miller is out at CBS Saturday mornings. Yeah. Former WWL Louisiana anchor and wife of former New Orleans Mayor Mark Morrell. She was laid off from her role as the co-host of CBS Saturday mornings. She's been doing that for years. So it looked like there is a plot to get rid of us all. But they let her go. They laid her off. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap it up with me. Coming up, Carrie and Arnie up next. They're going to take into the nighttime. It's already dark outside, but they're going to take into the nighttime. So y'all have a good day. We will see you on tomorrow right here at WBOK.